What's up guys, it's Ben and Parts here, back at you again with episode number 18 of this Cryptid cast series where I break down cryptids, their possibilities, their sightings, what they could or couldn't be, and if they could be real or not, and wow. Today I've got one of those cryptids I absolutely love, one of those cryptids that's very archaic, very weird, very bizarre, very dramatic, but at the same time has so many sightings associated with it that there's got to be something there. It combines all different kinds of genres. And today we're going to talk about the Crocodingo, a bipedal creature like a dog, but with the head of a crocodile. So it's part dingo, part crocodile. And the insane thing is it's been seen by numerous people. So let's get started. The Crocodingo is said to inhabit areas of Scott County, Tennessee, and specifically the city of Oneida. Like I said, it's a quadruped. It's described as having the body of a dingo but the head of a crocodile. And for some reason its sightings always peak between the periods of May and June and July. I'm not sure why that is really, but apparently they always peak then. The true story of how the Crocodingo came about is unknown because numerous different people have numerous different theories. Most tales are based around supernatural events, and the most popular one is based on an alien sighting by Scott County resident Hank Lemon, or what he thought was an alien sighting. On July 33rd of 1839, he noted what he described as an otherworldly green nebulous glow in the sky, which he thought was similar to the Northern Lights, behind his house in an area now known as Huntsville. The light seemed to really unnerve his two dogs, and as he stared back, a blinding light shot through the night air, which he described as a dead straight bolt of lightning, and it landed in the woods. The glow vanished, but minutes later he described as a strange creature, horribly alien, which was moving quickly, which was seen passing through the woods, which he described as a dog with an alligator's head. When he was later questioned, he would state, "There was this horrible charnel stench in the air, and something else, a horrible thing, something would drive a man crazy, should he be exposed to it for too long a period." Some people think that because of this, the Crocodingo was some kind of alien sighting, it was a spaceship disgorging something. Other people think that this is clearly a demon because of the sulfuric smell, and it's clearly a shape-shifting spirit that came down malevolently, but either way, there are all different kinds of stories associated with it. The actual name of the Crocodingo itself is controversial because no one knows exactly how it came about, but the most common story among local people is that it came from the late 1800s, from a guy living in the New River area who was called Curiel Allen Brown. According to the legend, Brown's father travelled to North America from Australia as a stowaway aboard a Confederate raider ship during the Civil War, and that the term Crocodingo was coined by him due to his Australian heritage. Some people also think it's a humorous misnomer because dingoes are indigenous to Brown's ancestral continent, but they've never existed in the American South. So some people think it was a play on cultures, a play on words, and that's the origin. Before that name actually gained traction though, most locals called it the haint dog for some reason, so that's another name for it. And following the account of Hank Lemon, there were lots of sightings of the creature near New River, Tennessee between 1856 and 1860. There was lots and lots of fish in the area, in the rivers, during that period, and loads of people saw the creature eating fish from the creeks. And fishermen actually began leaving several smaller fish and catches by the creek beds as a kind of tribute for the creature. If it would leave the bigger fish alone, it could have some of their smaller ones. Some fishermen always set traps also to catch the Crocodingo, but they always returned empty-handed because somehow the dingo would either take the fish out and leave, or would have tricked the trap without being inside it. As the year 1900 approached, the fish began to peter off dramatically. There were just less and less and less of them, and many people thought that this was due to the Crocodingo eating them. But it didn't end there, because during the Civil War, there were lots of sightings by Confederate soldiers as they marched through this Union-sided county during the Civil War. While they captured this area, while they occupied it, while they were fighting there, they would all describe seeing it. And there was a very notable sighting by a Confederate soldier called Roger Owens in 1863, who described the creature as guarding the corpse of an unknown man who was missing much of his face. And investigators later located a lot of traces of blood in the area, which not only substantiated Owens' claim, but seemed to indicate that the creature had actually been eating the man, especially because his body was never found. But it didn't end there, because throughout the 1800s, lots of farmers claimed they'd seen the creature or sighted the creature, they'd shot at it, they'd fired it, and sightings even continued through the 1900s, where they were reported by many mill workers, railroad workers, brick workers, and reports interestingly surfaced that on more than one occasion, some newly laid rails actually had bites in them. And very interestingly also, after the Oneida sewer system was built in 1925, reports actually peaked. Loads of residents reported horrible smells from the storm drains, horrible howls echoing through the tunnels that seemed to come from all directions, manholes mysteriously removed, sightings in the tunnels. In 1943, sewer worker Jack Bannister claimed to have followed a creature he thought was a coyote into the mouth of a manhole, and then the creature suddenly nudged the cover off easily with dog-like mannerisms, and then, for lack of a better word, slithered down into the sewer. Bannister stated that he could clearly see the creature, and it had what he described as a mangy wolf appearance, with a strange alien head that looked like an alligator's head or a crocodile's head. Sightings of the creature have actually continued throughout the 1900s, even though they're less common now, and the most recent sighting was actually on June 16th of 2012, reported by 2 workers on a break at the local cinema, who claimed they'd actually spotted the creature crawling out of a distant manhole, but by the time they'd reached the area it was gone. Today though, the strange sounds and sightings still occur in the town of Oneida. So what could the Crocodingo be? This is absolutely fascinating. Many people link it to the Bell Witch, a famous genie, aka spirit, aka demon, aka jinn that was in the area at that time terrorising the Bell family. And I honestly have to agree, I do think it was definitely some kind of foul spirit, because it comes with a horrible stench, it seems to terrorise people, it seemed to have a predilection for human flesh, it seemed to be a creature that unnerved everyone who looked at it. I do think it's very possible that it was a real physical flesh and blood creature, especially because it ate fish. But I think that, spiritual creatures also eat fish, they eat many other things. So I do think it was some kind of strange shape-shifting spirit, and I think that it's still being seen to this day because it's still in the area. I think it's rarer to find because the modern world has encroached on it, it doesn't want to be around humans so much, it's decided to pull back and withdraw a bit. But I think it's no coincidence that this is an area where paranormal and supernatural and spiritual things occur, and then the Crocodingo lands, if you like, in this area. So what do you guys think? Do you know anyone who's seen it? Do you know anyone who's come across it? Do you know anyone who's actually heard its sounds? I would love to hear that in the comment section. As usual, I upload about 1 video a day. In fact, I do upload 1 video a day, every day between 5:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. English time. I have 1 podcast episode every day going into a cryptid in detail. Please leave me your suggestions below for the next cryptid you'd like to see. They help me out a ton. Like, subscribe, share the video, it helps me a ton in the algorithm, and stay tuned for episode 19.